Giannis now 99 games with 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds. Wow. 127-104 is your final. The Nets held the lead for a grand total of 19 seconds in this one. They were up 2-0. That was it. Drew Holiday, notably here, left the game in the second quarter with a right heel contusion, did not return, so something to keep an eye on there. As for the Beard, James Harden, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Patty Mills, 21 points, 7 of 7 from 3, ties the Nets franchise record for most made threes off the bench. Perfect from 3. All right, digging a little deeper here on the night for Giannis Antetokounmpo. We couldn't tell you we saw it coming, but we kind of saw it coming. This is what Giannis looked like in the Eastern Conference semis against Brooklyn, almost to a T. He averaged a point or 0.1 shy
Stop
of 32
with the math,
points.
Joe. Stop
it's never
right
been
now.
my strong
right,
suit.
you know grammar's your strong.
I'm a literary mind. But 32 points, however you want to cut it. Rebounds, 14, had 12.9, so a little bit better in that category on this given night. Assists, he was better on Tuesday as well, so Giannis taking steps in the right direction, perhaps towards another title. All right, nobody better to break it down than the man with all the winning tickets. Tim Doyle here to break down game 1 of plenty to come. Tim, we got to talk about this performance on this given night for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the perfect setup to have an emotional letdown. You get a ring, you put a banner in the air, everybody's patting you on your back, and then they bring this sort of effort. What's that tell you about this team?
Yeah, good point there. It was really the effort. They took better care of the basketball. They had 5 less turnovers. They had 8 more offensive rebounds. I need to go, Tim, nerd alert with the stats. What did that lead to? 21 more Bucks attempts. You shoot the ball more times. You should have more opportunities, and the Bucks capitalized on it. Both these teams shot around the same percentage. Both these teams banged down 17 threes, but it was the effort. You would think it's Brooklyn going into Milwaukee, trying to show that they belong right now. Instead, it was the Bucks. Hats off to them. Do you feel like they're still being disrespected, maybe flying below the radar?
I don't know if it's the fact that it's Milwaukee, maybe a secondary type site when you're talking about the bigger markets across the league, but this is the team to beat in the East. The preseason odds would lead you to believe that the East runs through Brooklyn. They are odds-on favorites to win it all. They're prohibitive favorites to win the East, but here we see the statement in Game 1 by Milwaukee. What does this sort of performance here on Tuesday night tell you about this team when they are the team to beat? They believe that inside that locker room, and they showed that on the court. I know the numbers don't reflect that, Tim, but when we're looking at what's ahead, is this where the money lies?
You know, last year I got the bag. If you followed me and I said, bet the Bucks in the finals, bet the Bucks and they're down 0-2, you could have jumped in at Giannis at plus 500 to win the finals MVP. And if you did that, you walked away with the bag. But yes, a convincing 23-point win, Joe, in a game that was, let's say it, never competitive. The Nets had one lead by 2 points. I don't know how you watch this game and you're like, oh, well, the Nets are better. The biggest thing the Nets are going to have to deal with is not in between the lines. It's that massive distraction that is Kyrie Irving. What's the distraction right now going on in Milwaukee? Now that the Brewers are knocked out of the playoffs, Giannis can really put his focus into the Bucks. If you don't know, he owns a piece of the Brewers right now. But it just seemed like the Bucks were locked and loaded. And yes, there is an amount of disrespect with the Bucks of like, hey, didn't we just win the title? Yeah. When do we start getting that respect? They were the ones who played like the hunter in this game. They were the more aggressive team.
We talk about teams ramping up into the season. You know, we're not going to see their best until maybe a month, 2 months in. The Bucks look like a full-formed asset right now. I want to talk to you about the depth in these two games because the game was mirrored in many ways. 3-point makes, attempts. You know, they did have the advantage there in possessions, or at least offensive possessions. Supporting cast here for the Bucks, really, really solid. Because when you look at the 2 stars here, Middleton and Giannis, 52 combined points. The 2 stars on the other side, 52 combined points. The difference in this game is not the stars, but the scoring beyond it from Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, Jordan Nwora had 15 points. Connaughton had 20. And, hey, when you play with Giannis, you know what you have to do. Find an open space. And then when you have that open space, bang down those shots. Nwora had 3 threes. Connaughton had 4 threes. And that is the luxury of playing with Giannis because he's going to create so many mismatches that all of a sudden, you know, you're going to become Reggie Jackson in Naked Gun where, like, I must get the ball. And then everyone's going towards Giannis, and then he's finding you in the corner. So hats off to the Bucks. They built a team that fit its superstar. When you look at the Nets right now, you're a smart guy. What would you say their identity is? Because to me, Joe, think about it, it's Let's run up and down. You scored 127, Milwaukee. We're going to just try to score 128. I don't know if that's good enough to win a championship. Like, once in a while, you do have to get stops. And when I look at this roster, man, I have a hard time finding any defensive-minded players on it.
Yeah, they're going to have to establish a defensive intensity at some point if they want to get over this hump in front of them here on Tuesday night. TD, before we put this one to bed, it is the opening game of the season. We don't want to go too big picture here, but you walk away from this one learning what about each one of these teams? Did you feel any differently, your preconceived notions about these teams coming into the season and then what you saw in a single game sample size, to be fair?
I think the Nets are an amazing offensive team, and they're going to win a lot of games because they have some really talented guys. But can you win a championship just going up and down and outscoring people, especially with guys like James Harden, Kevin Durant, year 2 off an Achilles? You know, I always thought that there was going to be a lot of distractions, and now with the Kyrie Irving thing, I have major concerns. I'm not saying right now this is the time. Jump in on the Nets. As far as the Bucks, here's what I like, and I don't care what sport you are. Know who you are. With the Bucks right now, they have the identity. They have the big three. Remember, it was the Nets and the Lakers, all these. They have the big three. It's maybe not a massive, all up in your business, all over social media big three. But you know what Drew Holiday is going to give you? Chris Middleton is so consistent. And after watching Giannis tonight, how could you not think about a little sprinkle on MVP? Because, Joe, the numbers are so consistent year after year.
That they are. We're going to see how it all plays out over the next 81. That's the beauty of it all. Just getting started with our guy, good time, Timmy Doyle. Thank you, Tim. All right, taking a look here at what this Nets team is. We're talking about identity here with our guy, Tim Doyle. The identity when all three of these guys play, well, we've only seen it 14 times. We're not seeing Kyrie anytime soon, or at least we're led to believe. So you can scratch out that top mark right there. When 2 of the 3 play, which is likely the case, and what we saw here on Tuesday night, 28-14. So not world beaters by any means. Small sample size on the other 2, 1 of 3, 0-1. Moral of the story, they're better when they're all out there.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.